Welcome to the Phoenix Prosperity Podcast, where wealth meets legacy. Join your host, Tim Fergestad, as we explore the journeys of Phoenix's finest to success and beyond.
Hello, this is Tim Fergestad. Thank you for joining us. I'm very pleased to have Michael Johnson here with me today. Michael, a fellow Minnesotan, got the entrepreneurial itch. He was tired of his corporate rat race, and 5 years ago he started researching needs not being met and started his own business. He has plans for a number of other business startups. But welcome to the show, Michael. Can you tell us a little bit about the business you're running right now?
Yeah, sure. You betcha.
That's right.
So yeah, thanks for having me on. So my wife and I operate Wheels on Wheels. We do non-emergency medical transportation. We take people wherever they need to go. Usually they have some sort of special needs, but we take anybody anywhere and help them out with their transportation needs.
Okay, excellent. So how did that come about?
Well, actually, we wanted to be entrepreneurs. 5 years ago, I was tired of the corporate rat race. My background is in corporate HR and recruiting. And my wife and I were just kind of feeling out different industries. But we wanted to find something that was a service that was sort of a necessity, a need, and also something that we could find a need for in the community and serving people. And we knew about the industry. We have friends that do home care, and so we knew about the medical transportation industry, and so it was kind of on our radar for quite a while. So I researched it in the market here in Phoenix, found out that there was a huge need. And
it's a big sprawly community with the desert land, right? There's not a big focused urban population.
Exactly. People struggle with transportation, and they also struggle with quality transportation. So people were missing their appointments or having really bad experiences.
Oh boy.
And so I figured we could give a shot and do better. We could focus on quality and our customer service. In my background in HR, I wanted to build a business that was employee focused as well, and hiring quality people and providing the highest quality of service as well.
Good, and a meaningful culture, I think, is a big part of that.
Yeah, having a place that people want to work, a place that people are proud of, and a business that we can be proud of. We didn't want to just sell widgets. We wanted something that was helping people, and it really fit the need, and it's very rewarding work. The people that we serve count on us, and we receive a lot of positive feedback, and because of it, because we have a focus on the quality and the safety and the quality of the people that we hire.
Okay, excellent. So what's sort of the reimbursement nature for such services in that industry? I know a lot of people who are in the care field, the healthcare field, assisting field. I know people who have industrial and sort of the residential model, assisted living homes and group homes, care homes, and so forth as well. Can you speak to that model of your business?
The reimbursements there's the insurance that will pay for transportation.
Okay.
And then there's also private pay.
Right.
And then there's hospital facility pay. So there's 3 different avenues usually. And we work with every type of revenue stream that we can. We try to diversify as much as we can, but there's also public transportation. So that's actually maybe a 4th. So the Valley Metro Ride Choice program offers passengers with special needs that are ADA certified door-to-door service.
Okay.
So that's depending on where they live in the valley and their access and their requirements, they offer that service. So door-to-door service is what we do. We also do private pay. So people just call us up and we'll give them a quote from point A to point B. And if they like the quote, then they'll book the trip and pay with the credit card.
Okay.
And then there's hospitals who will book transportation for their customers, or even clinics, hospitals, clinics, facilities. And then they'll bill the insurance, or they'll do it pro bono. If their insurance doesn't cover it and they can't afford to pay it, hospitals will sometimes will just pay for it themselves and reimburse transportation that way.
Okay. Are those sort of facility and relationship based sort of
There's
experiences?
there's contracts that we have with different brokers that broker for insurance. They'll broker for hospital systems. They'll broker
Okay.
for um, um, also for schools, and we also do direct contracts for schools. So we transport people of all ages, students, and all, and adults with any special needs.
Okay. Okay. That's a great service. Thank you. That's got to be very meaningful and rewarding when you can help people out. I imagine you guys are probably a lot quicker than dealing with some of the traditional means of transportation available.
Quicker as in?
Well, if you're like you mentioned, Metro and some other things that they can maybe schedule with, just the cities probably doesn't have the boutique style service that you can offer.
True. Yes. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. We can take same day, last minute trips. Instant pickups. Sometimes immediate
Right.
pickups. Sometimes, but yeah. There's pre-recorded. There's pre-scheduled trips. There's discharges that are just okay. We need somebody right now, and so it's sometimes it's booked out in advance, standing orders. Sometimes it's just right now.
Right. So is there sort of do you have like any affiliates like with Uber or anything like that?
No, we Uber and Lyft are don't provide the service that we provide, of course, hands-on, door to door. But a lot of the medical industry uses Uber and Lyft and that type of service for people who don't need any special
Right.
Service, curb to curb service.
Right, but I was wondering if there's any synergies there where you could maybe get some sort of needs-based option for people who want to pick up.
Oh yes, okay. So yes, Uber and Lyft do offer wheelchair access vehicles.
Okay.
They're very limited in what the availability of
Right.
wheelchair access.
I was wondering if you could, if you have vehicles or people in your network who are not currently driving, right? If they could, get into the pool for that time and then get back out again as a third party.
Their reimbursement rates on Uber and Lyft are very low. So
Okay.
unfortunately,
that's
not an option for us because our expenses are much higher because we pay our insurance is of course through the roof with the liabilities there.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. Okay. And I think I don't know, come from Minnesota, you don't see a lot of ambulances here on the road. It's all done by the fire department here, right? And is that affect this industry at all? How the lack of medical transit in other fields?
Well, you may not notice them as much, but there are plenty of private ambulance companies here, and they also are our competitors in the industry because they will do the non-emergency transports as well as emergency.
Okay.
So they're actually one of, we compete in the same space because ambulances, people don't realize it, but they don't do just emergencies. They will also transport people just for regular appointments. Generally, so they'll have ambulance companies will have wheelchair vehicles and not stretcher vehicles sometimes. So they compete in the same space.
Okay. Is it friendly competition? Did they ever defer people yeah, no, we're busy or we can't do that, and then they direct them to you? Or
oh, I might get in trouble here. Well, the ambulance companies, they have big corporate they're corporately owned, and they're publicly traded companies, some of them.
Okay.
And I think they don't like sharing the market. So that's my opinion. I think they actively try to keep, especially in the stretcher transportation, they try to keep the smaller operators out. So that's my opinion. I mean, I don't know how they do it, but if they do have, their people that talk to the government agencies and kind of make things in their favor.
Okay, so what's before we branch into some other business ideas and things you want to you're as the entrepreneurial side of you wants to go explore, what are some of the biggest challenges in setting up Wheels on Wheels?
The biggest challenge at this point would be finances. We've pushed for growth. So we started with one van in 2020. We have 17 now and 2 more on order, and planning to keep growing to a certain extent. So we've pushed growth, and surprisingly, even SBA lenders, they don't want to touch our industry. They see it as too risky. So we've never been able to get traditional financing. Even with our growth trajectory, it's just been kind of unheard of. And a lot of people ask me how we did it, and honestly, I don't even know how we did it. We just pushed really hard and did the best we could, and it pays off. Having quality service, I would say, and how we did it, we made a name for ourselves. We have brand reputation. And so we have customers, they won't go with anybody else. If the insurance sends somebody else, they'll cancel their appointment. They'll call us first, book us first, then call their insurance, and they'll go and make sure we can take them first before they book their appointments. So that's one way we've been able to grow as fast as we have. But yeah, getting the financial backing for the growth, and that's a challenge. And of course, employees. We didn't have too much of a problem until about a year ago, when we bought a bunch of vans, and it was our first big push all at once. And then we lost a bunch of employees all at once. So then that's when we really started to struggle about a year ago with fully staffing our vehicles. So we've tried everything out there. We've tried staffing firms, which hasn't been what we weren't very successful with the staffing firms that we worked with. The best source that we've had is our employees referrals. We pay our employees a $500 bonus if they refer somebody, even if they don't know them. If they just hand them a card with their name on it, we'll give them $500.
And they end up signing up, right?
If we hire them and they work 90 days, they get $500. It's just all they have to do is just say, hey, you should come apply, and if we hire them, that's it. So, and we tell our employees, if that person doesn't work out, we're not going to hold it against you. You're not personally recommending them. You're just a source for referrals. Right. So that's been our best source, actually.
Who are your candidate, your ideal drivers?
Honestly, there's no prerequisites. What we look for is a person who cares for other people, wants to provide a quality service, and is teachable, to follow the safety rules and regulations, and not take shortcuts, and then just people that can connect with our customers, which is very different from a lot of our competitors. A lot of our competitors will tell their drivers, don't talk to your passengers. Don't talk to them. Just drive, and that's it. Which isn't great for customer service. Our passengers a lot of times are lonely. They don't have a lot of people to talk to. A lot of them are living at home alone.
Okay, right.
So they love our drivers because our drivers will listen. And even if the driver they don't even need to talk. They just need to listen, be friendly, and be there.
Are there hour requirements? I mean, can they do this part-time?
Actually, yes. We part-time to full-time. We are 365, 24/7. Soon. Overnights is still not fully covered, but we do want to be 24/7.
Okay.
But we are 365. We work every holiday. A lot of people want to visit with their family on the holidays. And so we provide that service on all the holidays.
Excellent. It sounds like a nice thing for maybe somebody who's kind of retiring, right? Who seems like that'd be a good
we have hired a few semi-retired employees, and I had high hopes, but it has to be the right person.
Sure.
What we've found is too many semi-retired persons. At first, it sounds like a lot of fun,
Oh,
but it's it's not an easy job. Um, it's
take a
and they
special
kind of
person to be a caregiver.
it does. It's really a caregiver type person. If the best employees we've had are people that have had to care for family members in the past.
Yep.
So they have or worked as a caregiver. They have that caring type. Even though we're not hands-on caregiving for
Right.
our customers, but it's the same personality type that
Yep.
does well.
I'm sure. Okay, excellent. So, what sort of other entrepreneurial aspirations do you have? Do you have something in the pipeline that you're trying to launch?
Well, I do also have an eBay store that I've actually had
Okay.
for longer than this business. It's been sort of a hobby turned into a business.
Okay.
And that's sort of, I want to do more with that. I want to expand that with more employees. Right now, just one employee. And so I do want to expand that in the future, but it's sort of on hold until we, I'm so busy with this business right now until
Right.
I'm more hands off with it. Then we'll work on some other businesses. We have scouted out other business opportunities in hospitality, entertainment, um, both here in the US and actually abroad. My wife is from the Philippines, and so we have family there and we spend time there. So there's business opportunities there. Philippines is growing like crazy. Their
Right.
economy is on a hockey stick curve.
Right.
A lot of opportunities there in the Philippines. So we have a lot of different ideas, but nothing concrete right now that we're actually starting up. I've looked at other businesses, real estate investments here in Phoenix area, um, and have a variety of ideas of different services and things that I see a need for, but nothing that I can really speak to at the moment.
Okay. Well, yeah, we can talk offline about real estate. I'm a big fan.
Yeah, yeah.
There's a lot to do there.
I'm a wannabe serial entrepreneur. I'm not quite there yet, but that's where I want to be. um, so event, but in order to do it, I'm going to have to keep building a team to help me do it, because
Right.
obviously, when you have, a lot of businesses and employees, it takes a whole team to, it's hard enough as it is. I have a really great management team already for Wheels on Wheels. So I'm not, don't have to deal with the day-to-day operations,
Okay.
but I don't have a business manager. So that's, I have to get to that point where I can
Right.
get a business manager to take more off of my plate and then be able to help me with other startups.
Right. Right. I think that's the trick, really, right? Is I've talked to enough people who have who've done this repeatedly, and they said running a big business is so easy compared to a small to medium sized business. And because you can delegate, right? And you
Right.
can grow, and people like Sir Richard Branson and stuff, right? They have so many companies. They get really good at delegating. They get really good at picking the right people and building the right teams and scaling.
So yeah, that's where the next steps are, finding and I've had my feelers out there, and I've talked to some people, but we weren't ready financially to bring them on.
Right.
But I've had some people that I thought, oh man, they'd be awesome, but I just wasn't there yet. And but yeah, that's getting somebody that building a team, business management, marketing, all that stuff, legal,
Right.
and getting a good team
Keeping
together.
keeping keeping incentives aligned, right? Giving them maybe some future equity as they build their right. And
Mm-hmm.
anyway, so yeah, very interesting, exciting stuff.
It is. It's very exciting. I, feel very blessed, to have kind of, we almost kind of sort of fell into it. I'll be honest, I did not want to start this business, and until after researching it. At first I was like, oh, medical transport. I don't have a background in medical. I don't know anything about that. That sounds, it didn't interest me. There wasn't an personal interest. But then after I researched it, and then I started meeting, we did it, and I started meeting people and our customers, and I, sort of fell in love with it. And just, it's been a really great experience, very rewarding.
Right. I assumed you had like a loved one or someone who needed transport at some point, which is what got you into it.
No, actually, we didn't. No, I personally haven't had that experience. But I think more, I guess I have that personality where I care for people. I guess that's, it's, and for me, I mean, it's not about the bottom line. I spend money on quality equipment and new equipment, and I want to pay my employees as much as I possibly can, even if that's reducing the bottom line to a percentage where other businesses wouldn't be comfortable with. I guess I'm a little bit different that way. I've even thought about, I've contemplated switching to a nonprofit. It's even, the ideas cross my mind, but the long-term goal is to make a profit. I mean, I want it to be, and it should be profitable long-term to that point. But there's a lot of government grants and things that other competitors of ours are nonprofits. They operate as a nonprofit, and you can go that way, and then you can give free trips to people who can't afford it, and operate that way. So there's a couple different models of this.
That could be a viable alternative. Okay. Excellent. Well, reflecting back on your journey, right? What do you wish you would have known earlier about success and wealth?
Well, we have had a bit of success. It's still it's still fragile. Like I say, I mean, it could all fall apart in a day. You never know what's going to happen tomorrow, right? We did manage to get through the pandemic because we were so small. But we had competitors that went out of business during the pandemic. And so, wow. Honestly, I knew it was going to be hard, and it's not easy, but so I was never, I guess I was never, what's the word? Deceived. I never deceived myself saying it was, this is going to be great and easy.
Yeah.
Cakewalk. No, I knew it was going to be hard. I mean, I have a background in business. So I didn't, I knew what I was getting ourselves into.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, you had the right mindset from the get-go, and that helps.
Yeah. I wanted to, do it for the right reasons, and, something I can be proud of, the way it is. So.
Okay. That's great. Thank you for your time today and for sharing some insights and tips with us. If people want to connect with you, what should they do?
You could go to our website, wheelsonwheelswow.com, and you can.
I'm sorry, it's Wheels on Wheels, WOW.com.
You got it. I know it gets a lot of people, but it's just Wheels on Wheels was already taken, so I had to add WOW to the end of it. So, and it actually worked out well as a motto. We have the wow factor. And yeah, for sure. You can contact me on the website. You also can email me directly at mjohnson@wheelsonwheelswow.com.
Okay, great. Well, thank you for watching, and thank you, Michael, for joining me today. We appreciate you sharing your story and your insights into success and impact here in Phoenix.
Thank you, Tim.
Inspired by our guests? Visit phoenixprosperitypodcast.com/guest and join us on the show and share your success story with Tim. The spotlight awaits.